Junk food for children. New research has found that more and more parents are buying junk food for their children to compensate for being unable to afford to take them on holiday or for days out. So parents essentially end up taking their children to the local chip shop, the local kebab shop, the burger chain as a treat. But is this right? Is it right to give junk food to kids as a treat when Britain is already among the most obese countries in Europe, indeed the world, I think. Anyway, joining me now to discuss this is Steve Miller, who is a weight loss hypnotherapist and chair of the National Obesity Forum. Tam Fry, we've also got Charlie Peters with us here today as well. So, Steve, come on, there's lots of parents out there who are struggling with the cost of living. They can't afford to take their kids on holiday or, put them into some kind of dancing camp or learn to play the violin. Can't they just give them a burger?
Well, the answer to that is yes, of course. We can't deny children a treat. But I think what we need to do is educate the nation that we can't just give our kids treat. So what I would say to all parents, as I do, is that 80% of the time we really should be giving the kids healthy food and teaching them, of course, how to cook it. And then 20% of the time giving them a treat. So I'm not the sort of guy that would say, let's deny the kids a chocolate bar and a trip down the chippy. I mean, we all love a chippy sandwich, for example. But it's about being realistic and having practical common sense, because we do have an obesity problem in this country. We are getting fatter.
We are getting fatter. That's definitely true. Tam, do you think that actually one of the problems is that we view junk food, we view food as a bit of a treat? Can that actually be one of the reasons why people get, binge eating disorders or gain weight or have a problematic relationship with food, that they were given it as a treat and it feels like something, that they can then have when they grow older?
Yeah, it is terrible. Food should never be regarded as a treat. If you can find something which the child really wants, that should be the objective. But to give the child more food is not a good idea. Whether, in fact, it's healthy or not is neither here nor there. Treats are non-food items.
Wow, there you go. Food can't be
I think that's ridiculous.
Treat.
I think that's... If you want me to come on as an opposing view on that, I think that's just ridiculous. That is, we've got to change our language now for food, and we can't call things treats. Listen, a treat is a treat, and let's not treat the public as though they're thick. People know what a treat is. If I have a treat this afternoon with my gin and tonic, for example, and a Big Mac or whatever I have, that to me is a treat. And kids know, they're not stupid. People can tell the difference between, a treat and a non-treat. And I think going down the route now of saying you can't call food a treat is just bonkers.
Charlie, do you think that the public health lobby, our politicians, people who campaign against obesity like Steve and Tam here, do you think they're a little bit nanny state gone mad?
Well, I'll happily disagree with both guests, actually. I think the statement and the assertion that Britain is getting fatter, I think, is built on sand. Indeed, that is the language used by Professor Tim Cole, who is in charge of the obesity statistics in Britain. He advised the government on dealing with this. He said that the methodology was built on sand, and I certainly agree with him. BMI as a measure is a hopeless tool, and we've been relying on it for years to discuss obesity, both for adults and children. I think childhood obesity is broadly a myth in Britain. People wax lyrical with fear and trepidation about how fat our children are becoming. I don't think that's
Charlie,
true.
no.
I just don't think it's true. I don't think there's significant methodology to support it.
No, Charlie, I think that, I'm against too much intervention simply because sometimes I just don't think it works. The evidence isn't there to support ad bans and things like that. But I think it's pretty true when you go through particularly deprived areas of the country, but also in well-to-do areas, children are getting fatter.
No,
I don't think we can deny that. We see it with our own eyes. But I think, Pam, isn't this a problem about lack of exercise? Children aren't moving. That's why during lockdown they put on the pounds.
Well, exercise has something to do with it, but it's not the main reason. I thought I was only going to disagree with Mr. Miller, but I now find I have two adversaries. Exercise is always a good thing, of course, But you're not going to work off your bad diet with exercise. What you've got to do is to limit the amount of calories and food that you're consuming, and that will get your weight down. Put the two together and you've got a recipe for success. But it's got to be less than we are eating at the moment. At the moment, we're eating 20% more than we should be doing, and certainly in the deprived areas, which you've just introduced, obesity rates are double that in the least deprived areas. And that's basically as a result of fast food.
Steve, do you think perhaps this report, this research that's been done, is giving parents excuses? Because, you know, my mum told me that her mother, well, didn't have any money at all, and they didn't eat lots of junk food.
Listen. I'm a former council house kid. You know, I didn't have the silver spoon in my mouth. And my belief is this, is that it is still, even with a cost of living crisis, and yes, I'm all for supporting people, make that clear. But it is still, if you look deeply into the numbers, like I did today, it can be still cheaper to eat healthy compared to eating unhealthy. So, for example, in the report that you're referring to, a bumper bag of crisps was mentioned at £1. Well, I went online today. I can get 4 pairs for 59p. You know, and also I can get where is it here? I can get a large fruit box for 6 people to last a week for £8.49p. You go down the chippy, and this report mentions that they're all going down the chippy. It's about 7 or 8 quid for chips and fish and chips now. So, you know, we need to be a little bit more sensible about this. I think what needs to be done is we need to bring it to the forefront where this kind of cheaper, healthy food is available, because we're not very good at that. But, you know, I have to say it's still cheaper to eat well.